the way that I am so excited for Love Island to be back.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I feel like when the promo came out a week ago or so, they played a little clip of the theme song in the promo, and just hearing that again gets me very excited. It's like it's the kickoff. It's the summer's here because Love Island is on.
Okay, so how are we prepping? Because you go to Fiji like wait, when do you go to Fiji?
Soon. The end of this month. Yeah, so very, very soon. Prep is, I mean, I work out like crazy, you know, it's working out. I don't want to say dieting. It's just, you know, being conscious of whatever. I saw the dentist yesterday.
Excuse me?
I had my girls go get their vet checkups to make sure I'm good to go with the house sitter. So there, you know, no surprises there. You know, all those things you have to tick off your list before you leave town for a while.
Yeah.
I'm doing it all this week.
Because how many weeks? I mean, it's like 2 months, right?
It's 2 months that I'm there. I'm there a little bit longer than the actual run of the show.
Right.
So I can get in, get settled, get everything ready to go. We shoot a little bit of promos, things like that. Yeah.
All the promos. Oh my God, the way that I'm so excited. And the way that I'm so excited for the fashion. Because last year you delivered look after look.
Yeah.
How are we going to top it this year?
I do not know. I'm nervous about it in a way that, you know, I'm a little bit at the mercy of what's out there, you know, but Emily's the most incredible stylist. I know she's sourcing from wherever. We have these amazing mood boards for all kinds of ideas. I have my first fitting tomorrow.
Ooh.
So tomorrow I'll have an idea of what exactly we're working with.
Okay.
But I think that in the same way that last season in general was so incredible, if we don't compare season to season, and maybe this season will be a different vibe, there's definitely some things that we're looking at fashion-wise this year that we didn't really look at last year. So some crochet, some custom, things like that are just like a little bit different because you can't recreate, right?
No, you
You can't redo, you can't rewear. So I think in some ways we're going in very different directions. So we'll see.
Well, I'm so excited. I keep saying, I need to stop saying I'm so excited because you get the picture, the people get the picture, but it's the same thing with the cast. We can't recreate the cast, nor do we want to.
You don't want to, right?
No.
Comparison is the thief of joy, right? And only you can be you. You are unique to yourself. So I feel like if any cast member is just bringing themselves to the table authentically, we're going to have a great season. So much of it is TBD. You never know until they're all together what the dynamics are going to be, who's going to work with who. Sometimes it's very unexpected. Sometimes two people you think are going to hit it off really don't. And so that's what's so fun about this show is I feel like no matter what, you really never know what's coming. You never know what's going to happen. You can't predict much of anything.
And that's the joy of it.
Yeah.
That is like what brings me so much joy. Now, I know last season you got to see some of the cast bios and photos of them beforehand. Have you seen anything for this season?
Not yet, but best believe the second I touch down in Fiji, I will be asking everyone I see on the crew, how can I get my hands on this?
Yeah, like you need to see it.
Yes.
Okay, has anyone given you any hints as to like, of course the cast, like we know who the cast is, you know, or they do, we don't know. But has anyone given you any hints?
Not at all. I think they know better.
Yeah.
I think they know that until they have me in Fiji.
In a contained environment.
I'm a live wire. Yeah, a contained environment. Exactly.
That's the thing. Last season, I mean, the way that it took off. Like, I've been a fan of Love Island. So then I saw all these people jump on the bandwagon. And I'm like, okay, where have you been?
Yeah, and I'm like, I told you.
I told you people that, like, you have to see every episode every night. And Wednesday is a sad time because you don't have a new episode.
Yes, so sad about Hump Day.
It's so sad about Hump Day. But while you were filming, did you realize how big it had become?
Well, I'm on TikTok a lot. I'm a big TikToker. I don't often post, but I'm always scrolling. I'm always watching. I'm always in the comments, reposting. And, you know, I was getting a lot of the TikToks and the different edits and the things like that. But you never really know. Maybe even if it has a number of views that's really high, you never know, like, is this just my algorithm? Because I am in this world. So, of course, I'm going to be seeing more of that stuff on my For You page. And being out there in Fiji, maybe here and there somebody might recognize something, but it's a lot of people who are, again, like tourists, Fijian locals, maybe like but we don't really make it out. We're working, so you're not really out in the world so much. I heard from friends back here. They were all watching, but again, are they watching because they're my friends? You know, you never really know.
Right.
But then, of course, when the ratings started coming in and we were hearing from our showrunners, our producers, how insane the rating. I mean, we were the #1 show in all of streaming, not just unscripted, all of streaming. I mean, we beat The Bear. So that I'll never forget that. And that happened, I think, 2 or 3 weeks in a row. And that was the real indicator of like, oh, okay, it's not just us, it's everybody. But what was crazy is the cast obviously had no idea.
Which made it so much better.
Yeah, they just, they're in their world in the villa. They had no clue. And I remember at the finale, after the winners were announced and everything, after everyone had jumped in the pool, our showrunner kind of gathered everybody in the kitchen in the villa and was like, your guys' lives are going to change. Like, this is a hit show. And they were like, what? It was really, really cool.
Wait, that's so cool. Because their lives did change. Now they have a spin-off show.
And I'm like, I can't tell you guys anything. Like, in the moment, I'm like, I can't say anything, but this is crazy.
This is crazy.
Yeah, it's so cool. And they have the spin-off, and I'm really excited about it because I think that they are all stars, and I follow them on social media. I might run into one of them from time to time, but to be able to follow their lives almost a year later and see where they're at in their friendships and their relationships in this way, I think is going to be really fun and exciting. Like, I'll definitely be watching.
Of course, obviously. The way PPG just holds like me.
Yes.
The way that I'm just so obsessed with them. But are you surprised that, we still have couples that are still together?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised because I think that they're all so well suited for each other. I think that you could see that love blossoming in the villa. I think that the way that the show is set up, yes, it's this crazy social experiment. Yes, you have recouplings, you have all these things that are so far removed from reality, but you also have them living together, spending nearly every single day together. So when they do make these real connections, it is real, and it makes sense in that way that they would still be together because they're not going on $100,000 extravagant dates with someone 3 times and then getting down on one knee.
Right.
It is very much rooted a little bit somewhat in reality, in the sense that like they are spending that much time and they are really getting to know each other. So in that aspect, no, not surprising at all. You see these loves blossoming in the time in the villa, but surprising maybe in the sense that you never know what happens when you get to the real world. But as you can see, their connections were strong enough to be in the real world and thrive.
And they're
I love it.
Thriving. Janae and Kenny give me so much life.
They're so cute.
They're so cute. And of course, Leah Miguel too. And then my thing is like, what the heck is going on with Kendall and Liv and like Taylor?
When I'm watching, as things pop up on social media, I'm always like, wait, are they? And then I'm like, no, they're not.
Yeah.
Are they? Are they not? So now we'll be able to see.
We'll be able to see. Okay, so do you have any advice for the cast, for this upcoming cast ahead of their journey?
I would say, it sounds cliche, be yourself, because you are the best you that anyone could be. And the audience can always tell when something feels forced or feels put on. And beyond that, the only way to connect with people, whether inside the villa or people watching, is for them to be able to get to know you.
Right.
And if you're trying to be something that you saw on a previous season, it'll never work. It's always so obvious. I mean, it's at least obvious to me. I feel like I'm a veteran watcher and participator, so I feel like I can always tell when I'm looking. So I think that's really it, as cliche as it sounds.
But that goes a long way. That goes a long, long way.
Yeah, and it's okay to mess up. It's okay to say the wrong thing. It's okay to do the wrong thing.
Right.
As long as you're upfront and you're honest and you're truly yourself about it. I think that sometimes people get caught up, let's say something happens in Casa Amor or something like that. the best way to deal with something like that is to just be honest and upfront with where you're at in your relationship. I mean, to be honest, no one's boyfriend, girlfriend until they specifically ask. So being coupled, so just
1,000%.
be honest with where you're at every step of the way. And that's how you can be a successful Islander.
The minute you just said Casa Amor, I got excited again, and I was like, oh my God, I'm getting hot in here. Now, do you hope any former casts come back and maybe we see a little Casa Amor shakeup?
Well, it's happened before.
Exactly.
So it's not impossible that it could happen again. I always feel like it's really hit or miss. And that's me as a fan talking. For me, it can be very hit or miss. Sometimes it really works. Someone comes back. I feel like Rob was someone who came back from a previous season, and that actually worked and didn't work in some ways, but having, it was a good choice, right? And then sometimes people come back and they're in and they're out in 2 seconds just because they didn't maybe connect with anyone in the villa, or, you never know. But again, that's something that you try it and you see what happens sometimes, because the dynamics are they're completely unknown until it happens. So I don't know. Sometimes I'm here for it. Sometimes I'm not. But also I have my biases and my favorites. So that can also be, for me, I can't say them when I'm on the show.
No.
I'm like, I don't like that person.
Which I was going to say, was it hard to remove yourself? Because you are a super fan of Love Island.
Yes.
And that's what made you such a good host, because you cared. But
yeah.
Was there ever points where it was hard, though, because you're like, I do want to tell you, like, stop, but
it is hard, because sometimes I also maybe, the dramatic irony of it all, sometimes I might know something that they don't know, because I've been able to watch episodes, I've been able to watch clips, I've been able to see stuff that maybe they can't see. So I am dying sometimes to be able to tell them, or even to be able to say, like, it's okay, like, but I can't. So it is tough. It's tough to sometimes have to walk in there and be host and not be able to be friend.
Right. I mean, because also the production value on Love Island, it is insane.
Yeah.
The way that you guys film, and then it's like, what, 2-3 days later?
Oh, it's less than that. Sometimes it's 24 hours.
Insanity.
Sometimes I get a rough cut so I can, be up to date on what's happening. And it's literally what was happening the night before. And things happen and change so quickly in there too, because let's say I go in for a recoupling and, Rob chooses Leah, whatever it is. And then la-di-da-di-da, I go home, I go to bed, I wake up in the morning, and there's a text from one of our producers, or like a social girl that's like, I'm like, oh, that was cute last night. And they're like, well, guess what? It's over. You know what I mean? Like, something can happen so fast in there.
So what does your day-to-day look like? Like, give me an example of a day.
Well, it depends on if I'm shooting that day or not, because sometimes I go into the villa once a week. Sometimes I go into the villa twice a week. Sometimes it's once a week and then after sun, something like that. So typically, depending on what time I'm getting picked up to go to the villa to film, let's say it's not until nighttime. I'll get up, I'll walk over to the gym, I'll work out, I'll come back to the room, I'll rinse off, put my comfy clothes on, put I have like Love Island themed Crocs that
as you should.
I got last year. So I'll throw those on. I walk, I get in the car with my driver, Manu is the best. And we ride on out to the villa. We usually have dinner that's like the catering dinner. And usually the Islanders are probably eating at the same time. So I'm eating, and then we learned not to start my glam until the girls are in there starting to do their makeup.
Oh.
Because several times, the timing would be off, and I would be ready to go in.
And they're not ready.
And then, as a makeup wearer yourself knows,
yes,
you can only powder so many times before it starts getting Crypt Keeper.
Crusty.
Yeah. And so you have to there's some timing that you really need. We had to work out. And then eventually we got our timing down. We know when the girls are sitting at the makeup mirrors, that's when I set up the makeup mirror. We leave the TV on so we can hear what they're talking about before I go in. go in, we shoot the walks at all
yeah.
the angles.
Oh, the walks are the best
We
part.
have to be quiet so no one knows I'm coming.
Yeah, because that's always the
I can't
surprise. They're like,
go
what's
past
going
the corner,
on?
because if I go past the corner, and then the magic happens, and then bye guys, and then I take my earpiece out, put the Crocs back on, and go home and wash it all off and do it again the next day.
The way that I'm just so fascinated with all of this. I'm just way too fascinated.
That was one thing about hosting the show that was so exciting to me, is getting to really see like how the
behind the
sausage is made.
scenes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so much fun.
Because no other reality show is like this. I mean, of course, you know, with Vanderpump Rules, it's just not like this at all.
No,
Like,
completely different.
Completely different.
Yeah.
Different. I know last year your boyfriend came for a week.
Yes.
Is he coming back this time?
Yes, we're trying to make it so he can come for 2 weeks this time.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, a week's not long enough.
A week is not long enough.
Yeah.
Maybe like 2 weeks in the beginning and 2 weeks at the end.
Yeah. Just sort of like the whole time is fine too.
Yeah, why not? He can be your personal
I'm like,
trainer.
I know.
Come
I'm like,
on.
God, you know all those jobs you have and those clients you have, they'll be fine.
Fine. Tell him to turn on Love Island and see that you're busy.
Yeah.
Like the rest of the world. But I would imagine, though, so many like celebs have DM'd you or something about Love Island, right?
Every once in a while, yes. You find like a fan, but not a ton. No, I don't know what my setting. Maybe it's in my settings. Like, people DM me. I'd love to talk about it.
Yeah.
I won't shut up about it.
No, of course.
Clearly.
Obviously, I won't shut up about it either. My husband won't shut up about it either,
I
because
love that.
the way that he got so obsessed with it last year, and I watched Bravo, of course. Wouldn't watch anything Bravo. Then I started watching Love Island.
Oh, so that was
That was it.
interesting.
That was it. Where we're literally, when we got married, we walked out to the Love Island theme song.
Okay,
It's kind of ridiculous.
That's kind of iconic.
No,
though.
it's iconic, but a little bit ridiculous.
It's my ringtone,
as it should be.
and my text tone is the text tone, and it's been that way for years.
For years.
Yeah.
No, I know. This is why it's so fun to see you hosting, because I know you're so obsessed with the show, as am I. And I also just love this, like, this time in your life. How would you describe yourself, like, in this moment?
Oh, tired.
You're like, I'm exhausted. I'm so busy.
It's okay though. It's like a good tired. You know, I feel it depends on the day, of course, but I feel almost like at home in a sense, and I feel these are not adjectives. I don't really know how I'm describing this, but I feel like I have such great people around me, whether it's professionally with like my team, or it's at work, or it's my friends, or it's my boyfriend, it's my family. You know, I just feel like all of that is in such a good place. And I feel supported as well. Like independent, but also very much supported.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a great place to be.
Yeah. And I stopped doing some of the negative self-talk, which is good too.
That's very good.
Helped. Yeah.
That's good. And that's good for people to hear too, because a lot of people do that.
Oh my God.
How did you get yourself to stop?
I think I started looking at things differently. So like even with, say, fitness or something like that, right? I would go about things like I wanted things to be a certain way, but I would maybe go about it in like not the best, you know, I would kind of like, I don't want to say kill myself in the gym, but I would just be going, and I would be like, I hate this. I hate this. I hate working out. I hate the way it's not working, whatever. And I started just developing, I think, a healthier relationship with my body, with food, with things like that, to where I'm not beating myself up if I miss a day, or if I eat something bad or something like that. You know, I've started to look at things differently, and I think that that's helped me, I don't know, support myself more.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, going back to your boyfriend, Dan, because you have said that he has opened your eyes about the possibility of kids, of marriage, because you've said in the past that was like not something that you wanted to do. Do you still feel that way?
I definitely still, listen, I don't picture myself pregnant anytime soon, that's for sure. And I'm about to be 40, so I don't know about that. But I feel like, you know, I do want to spend the rest of my life with this man. I every single day am so lucky that I get to be with him and get to, I don't know, experience the joy that is him. I don't know how to explain it, you know, just being silly and cute and it's kind of one of those things where I'm sure it's like, how do you describe that, right? But he's just the best. Yeah. And, you know, to get to have him in my life forever would be really, really amazing. So, yeah, I would like to, I'm like, hey, lock it down. I'm ready.
Yeah, lock
I'm
it
here
down.
for it.
Lock it down in Fiji.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know. There's too much going on. There's too much going on.
I just had a picture in my head of like the villa. I'm like,
at the season finale. I don't know about that. Maybe not. Maybe
neon
not.
signs everywhere.
No. Okay, maybe after. Maybe after a well-deserved vacation. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. If you're listening to this podcast, Dan, don't do that.
Yeah, please, God.
Please, for the love of God,
no.
Don't do it. Oh my gosh, I feel like I could talk to you all day about Love Island, but I know you're a very busy woman. You got places to be, people to see. I'm just so excited.
Me
too.
So excited. Yes, me too.
And have so much fun.
Thank you. Yeah, coming out to Fiji, you know.
The way that I would love to go to Fiji. I'm looking at the Peacock people over there.
I know.
Access Hollywood and Fiji and
I'm
exclusive.
always like, I get excited when people come out because I'm like, somebody I know is here. Cool.
Could be fun.
Yeah.
Could be fun.